What do you mean your social battery is empty?
Yeah.
You work at a Kroger. Mama, please come out. You need to see people.
For a while, speaking of New York, I kept on accidentally calling LaGuardia Giardia Airport.
And it is.
It kind of is exactly that.
I'm sure there's poop all over the air there.
I hate that airport.
It's bad.
But it's better than JFK.
You ever miss flights?
No, I've never missed a flight.
You ever cancel a flight?
Do you ever
Okay, there was I love being here. Thank you so much. I was known as the cancellation queen for a minute because I was canceling any gig for any reason. I one time just wasn't feeling it and I had to like get on a flight and go all the way to the UK and do this like long tour. But I just knew because I'd done the tour before and it was very stressful and it was like 13 cities in 15 days. There was no sleep and I signed all the contracts and then like I want to say 6 days, but it was probably closer to 3 days before the tour. I just sent them an email being like, can't do it. Not gonna make it. COVID just ended. I'm afraid of crossing going all the way to the UK. I can't make it. I'm not doing it. And then luckily after that tour, that company completely folded. So I was like, I probably wouldn't have made any money off of it anyway.
Yeah.
And then there's one promoter who I've canceled on like traveling 4 times. And now he will not hire me again.
Yeah.
But I can't. One was a cruise.
But that's...
I literally... And it was right after... it was when things started to open up again.
And cruises were hotbeds for diseases
and he was like,
anyways.
get on this boat. And I was like, can't do it. And share a room with someone else. And I was like, I'm not doing that.
What is your relationship? Because, you and I just met today, so I don't know anything about, like, your social, like, your relationship to socializing. Like, do you cancel plans on your friends a lot? Like, not professionally. We're talking just friendships.
Friendships, all the time. Personal trainer, all the time.
Oh.
Canceled with him to be here today.
Incredible.
With friends, I feel like they understand that my social battery is like low.
Yeah.
So it's like if you catch me at a good time, we can go see a movie and then get dinner and then I'm done. It's like we're done. But if I feel like I've seen enough people throughout the week, I need like 3 days to recover.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
So if a friend invites me out to something, I'll be like, actually, I have a gig this weekend and I'm really trying to work on the costume. And I might work on the costume for like an hour, but I'm most likely like rotting on my sofa watching TV.
100%.
And I feel like that's the easiest thing to do is just be like, hey, I'm working on something. I can't make it tonight.
So do you have friends, though, that you're honest with? Like, hey, love you, but I've done too much this week. I need to like rot.
Yes.
Great.
Yeah.
That's like the easiest way out. And even sometimes it's like...
Because you can't argue with that.
No, and especially if I'm like, I'm busy and I'm tired. Like, let a girl be home.
Right, let me rest.
There is the occasional time where I feel really bad, where I want to cancel and I can't. Like birthdays, I feel like you cannot cancel on a birthday.
I agree.
Mm-hmm.
And if I say I'm gonna be there, and one of my big things is like, if I'm drunk enough, like out one night partying in drag and you invite me to a thing, I'm gonna say, yeah, I can make it. I have that day off. And then the day comes and I'm like, I can't do it. Don't ask me. I pray that they don't text me. I pray that they're not like, hey, remember we had dinner plans?
That's entrapment. I was under duress when you asked me that.
Yeah, I was like, I was drunk. You can't ask me to actually follow up on that.
We're two different people, right? We're like at home, sober, out of costume, like out of the whole thing. And then we're like drunk, feeling ourselves, looking amazing and out already. Like,
let's go to the petting zoo. Let's do it. 10 a.m. tomorrow.
West Pasadena.
See you there.
Fuck, it's awful. Has that something that's always like? Have you always had that sort of like? Has like that gauge of how much time you need always been that amount of time, or has that changed since you like spend so much time like for your work having to be out and social? Like, did that have to adjust?
It did really have to adjust. I remember when I lived in New York, I also think I'm so old now, but I remember when I was in New York, I could do a full day of school, go to work after school for like 5 hours, and then be like, all right, let's go out and party with my friends. And it was just like, I could do that all the time. And then slowly I started being like, I need to take care of like, I can't be out all the time. I'm exhausted. I'm gaining so much weight. I'm tired.
We're getting sick all the time.
I was sick.
I was never more sick than when I lived in New York City.
Me too. I think there was mold in my building.
There's mold everywhere there. And the
rats.
subways and the rats.
And the subways. But I think now, yeah, I think it's developed because I am always like working and out and stuff. So it's like
You use so much social energy.
and also I feel like I see all the people I need to see. And then the friends that don't come to the club and don't come to my shows and do that stuff, I'm like, I will make special time to like go to your house and hang out with you for 3 hours. But then at the 3 hour mark, my body's like, let's get on TikTok and see what's happening.
Yeah.
And that's when I'm like, I want to go home.
Yeah.
I'm done here.
Yeah, you've given all that you can. You need to recharge.
Yeah, but I don't think there's anything wrong with like just saying I'm overwhelmed with the world right now and I don't want to leave the house.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly have just started doing that. I'm like, hey, my social battery is so freaking low. I need to just watch TikTok for 2 hours or watch, Bravo or something bad and not see someone for 24 hours. I don't want to see another breathing human for 24 hours.
But I'll turn on a friend if they do that to me. I'm like, what do you mean your social battery is empty?
Yeah.
You work at a Kroger. Mama, please come out. You need to see people.
Also, are you telling me that I drain you? I don't replenish your social battery?
Excuse me.
Yeah.
I've also gotten into a real bad habit of being like, why don't you just come over to my house? And then they do, and I've done nothing to prepare for them. I'm just like, well, this is it.
You want some
Have
grapes?
a seat.
I know.
I was like, I got some frozen grapes.
I fuck with frozen grapes so
Oh, yeah, they're
too.
incredible.
Okay, get in on this. Trader Joe's has those cotton candy grapes.
Uh,
If you freeze those,
That's like
it's
little
delicious.
ice cream
Leave them on the
slice.
counter for like 15 minutes and they get to the perfect
Oh,
consistency.
yeah. Oh my God.
We love a frozen treat here.
I do love a
We
frozen treat.
I love a
frozen
frozen
strawberries.
Yep.
I chew ice.
I chew ice too.
I used to chew ice. I can't do it anymore because I'm afraid. Because now I'm also convinced that I'm a million years old. So like, I have
your tooth will
I've
just
never broken a
fall
tooth,
out.
but I've decided that like,
Yeah.
no, my teeth are gonna break any day.
Let me
now.
put you onto this. You can get an ice machine maker that makes
Yes.
pebble ice.
Oh.
My friend bought one.
I have one in my kitchen and I just scoop
Yeah.
that.
It makes
and
the Chick-fil-A ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Sonic.
Yeah, the Sonic ice.
Don't
You're
say
right.
Chick-fil-A in front of me.
You're right. The Sonic ice.
I was supposed to go to the Eagle last night. There was a
What?
big party. I don't know. It was like Bears in Space or something was happening. And I was like texting the promoter and I was like, oh yeah, I'll swing by for a drink. And then, once you settle in, once you get horizontal on
Once
a
you're in.
sofa,
Oh, it's over.
It's over.
I had a friend text me at 10:30 last night, and she was like, "I'm out, come out," and I was like,
10:30.
I'm laying down. It's 10:30.
If I'm
laying
already in
down.
pajamas, it's over.
It's
if
done.
I'm like in an
No.
outfit that I can make it out in, I might spritz on some cologne, brush my teeth, and
But
head
it's
out.
no.
Mhm.
My rule is like I have to usually leave the house before 7 or 8, either to go to a dinner, to go to pre-drinks, if I'm gonna make it to the 10 o'clock party.
What is your amount of time that you say is okay to cancel on plans with people?
I said 4 to 6 hours ahead.
I think 6 hours.
I think 6 hours is fair. If it's like a nighttime thing, you need to tell them like by, I don't know, like 1 or 2 p.m.
If
Yeah.
I even wake up and I'm questioning if
Same.
I want to do it,
I'll
they're
cancel.
getting a cancellation.
Yeah.
It
I
also
agree.
depends on the thing, right? Like if it's like a hang, then I feel like I'm okay if I had like plans to like get, I don't know, drinks with someone at like 7 or 8. If it's like you and you texted me at like 5 that you didn't want to, I'd be like, fine, whatever.
No, same. But if it was a concert and we talk about this a lot on the
Oh,
pod.
ticketing? If you buy the ticket, you're going.
Ticket events.
You gotta go.
And if you you wake up that Monday and you have a concert on Thursday and you're like, I really don't want to do this. The best thing to do, tell your friend ASAP and be like, hey, I'll find someone to buy the ticket.
Oh, yeah.
Or like, hey, ask that one person that really wanted that ticket. Like, go.
That makes sense. But if it's day of, you can't. You can't. It's too late.
No, you spent money on it and your friend's going to go alone?
Yeah.
No.
Do you prioritize like people's birthdays and stuff? Like
Yes.
someone who has like, I mean, obviously if you're close to someone, like their birthday is more important than the
Yeah.
other. But like, even if it's someone you're close with, if they're like, we're doing a bunch of stuff for my birthday, do you pick and choose like what thing you're gonna go to?
Oh,
or, like-
absolutely. If
Yeah.
it's like we're meeting up for drinks and then we're doing dinner
Yes.
and then we're gonna go out
Go to a
clubbing.
bar.
It's like, okay, I usually will skip the dinner. I don't want to do the whole, okay, my meal was this much and yours was this much and yours is this.
We're covering the birthday girl.
Over that.
Yeah.
I don't like to do that. So I'll just meet up for drinks at the very end.
Mhm.
And then I'll be like, cool. Had a wonderful time. Bye. But if it's just like a birthday hang, I'll usually, and I know that I'm not going to know a lot of people, I'll usually show up an hour after it starts.
Same.
Because then everyone's already settled in and then you can walk in and be like, What's the vibe?
Yeah.
Are we moving on? What's next?
Yeah.
And then usually it's like only 2 or 3 hours of a hang. You've already missed the first hour.
I know you keep saying 3 hours, which I think is actually very generous. Like even with my close friends, if I'm not in the mood, I'll give them an hour or 2 hours.
Oh, we do 3 hours.
I know. I mean, you're right. 3 hours is what you should give your close friends. And I'm sure I do. But in my head, that sounds long.
But what about canceling in the middle of a plan? Like when someone's at you. This just
We
happened
talked
to
about
me
this last
recently.
pod,
Someone was
yeah.
literally at my house and they were not getting the hint that I was
Yeah.
like, okay. And now we're wrapping up. It was just like the story just kept going and going.
Yeah.
And then he got up
no.
and I got him towards the door. And I was like holding my cat, like petting him. And I was
Good
like, this is
night.
the end.
Push them towards
And then he was like, oh my God, he's so cute. And then started petting him and then sat back down on the sofa and started telling another story. And I was like, huh,
What?
get out. We drank the wine. There's
Yeah.
nothing else
Are you
to
trying
do
to
here.
fuck me? What's going on?
No, he had. But I was like,
Oh,
and now
that's
we're
done.
done.
Get out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
now you
yeah.
go.
I didn't even want to hang out afterwards. I thought you would just like kind of pack up and leave.
Yeah.
Didn't leave.
When I lived with roommates and we all were close friends and we'd bring friends over, I would just like start getting in my pajamas and brushing my teeth in front of people. Oh my God.
That's crazy. I will start doing that. I'll be
Washing
like,
my face.
Putting your hair in
Oh.
rollers.
just my wigs and rollers.
It was incredible seeing you. Like, oh, well, gotta go finish
Yeah,
stuff.
how many times can you be like, oh my God, it was so nice seeing you. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night.
That's-
Can you say that before they like pick up on it?
I know.
Our friend Asha will just straight up be like, I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. And
Yeah.
I'm like, great. I'm out of
And
here.
that's perfect.
That's easy.
I love that.
And
I'm
it's
tired,
no
I'm leaving.
offense.
Our friend Lucy had a birthday party last week and she was like, heart out at 10 p.m. Everyone.
Have you seen this? You can hang a
Obsessed
sign that
with it.
says everyone out by 10.
Obsessed.
No?
It's like a streamer and it's like everyone out by 10, party's over at 11. Like you can
Ah.
buy them now.
Fun.
I
love
love that.
Yeah.
Let's
Because
be
I also
direct.
hate when people, I've thrown like house parties at my place and I hate when people linger on too long. It's like,
Mhm.
okay, the majority
yes.
of people have left.
Yeah.
Unless you're going to like help me clean up, please leave.
Oh,
and they
Yeah.
just sit there with their boyfriend and just like chit chat in front of you. And I remember one time I did do what you said. And I got fully into pajamas and I was like picking up around them and I was like,
Yeah,
that
clearly-
was so fun, wasn't it, guys?
Didn't we have fun?
And I'm
Yeah.
like, didn't we have fun?
Wasn't that fun,
You
everybody?
took their beer
Yeah.
can right out.
I wish.
No, the worst. I've had people literally like do a line of Coke at 2 a.m. or
2
3
p.m.
2 a.m. and you're like, oh, no. We're not ramping up for more. Why are you doing a line right now? We're going to bed. Go.
You're doing a line and you're putting on Lord of the Rings? No.
No,
Yeah,
no, not in my house.
No.
The extended edition? No.
No. Director's cut. No.
Absolutely not.
That's a straight guy thing to do, though.
Honestly, but now that I'm saying it out loud, that'd be really
Right.
funny.
Just
If
ruin
someone-
someone's day.
Realistically, if someone was like, just started doing a line of Coke and turning on the extended edition of Lord of the Rings, I think part of me would be like, well, I have to see how this plays out. This is so funny. Like, it's such an insane choice. I'm like, this person's gonna do.
It's so bold.
It's so bold.
It's so
But no one's done
bold.
that.
Depending on who it is, I might just go upstairs and go to bed.
Same.
And be
Fair.
like, lock the door on your way out. Make sure the cat doesn't
if
get
you need
out.
a safe
Yeah.
space, that's my living room. You take it.
You go right on ahead.
You're going through something.
It's like, I'm not going to be here to witness it.
Yeah.
And I hope you find someone to answer the phone call.
I
Yeah.
had a friend that would always crash on our couches too.
Mm.
It's like she didn't live that far. She wasn't that drunk. But she
I
would
am
sleep on
like
a
that.
couch.
I will come out of a slumber to get home. My body will be like, we're
Same.
going home.
Same. I will do anything to get home.
I have left my car at a friend's house just to take the Uber because I was too drunk. I was
Yes.
really like, I'll come pick that up tomorrow.
well, I have contact
I'm outta
lenses
here.
and Zoloft to take. Like, I cannot fuck around with spontaneous sleepovers.
Oh,
Like,
no.
No.
And then in the morning, you're always like, what happened last night? What did I do and say?
Oh, shit.
What did
Maybe-
I say exactly verbatim?
Yeah, tell me exactly what I said about Teresa.
Yeah. Do you have like planned anxiety after, like, if you if you cancel a plan, do you have anxiety of like, oh, I shouldn't
Oh
have done
yeah,
that?
I go into a spiral about
Really?
it where I'm like, they hate me,
Yeah.
they're mad at me. I'm gonna just stay off the internet, and then anytime I
You're
like,
gonna go dark until
yeah,
this settles.
but they're like, they literally don't care. They're just like, yeah, Meatball's just being Meatball. Like sometimes she
You're
wants to be
intentionally
alone.
not posting Instagram
Oh yeah, I'm like,
stories.
I'm like scrolling, and I'm like, don't look at their story. They'll know that you've been on there. And it's like, who looks at your stories?
Everyone's
I
thinking
do.
about me. Everyone's thinking about me.
Yeah, it's all about me. It's all about me. It's all about me. Yeah. when I cancel on like gigs, especially here in LA for certain reasons. Like one time I was driving home from the beach on a first date with a guy and I threw up all over my car in front of him. And to be fair, he didn't seem to mind, but I had like clearly had sun poisoning because I was like getting really weird. And we were on the freeway. I was going like 70 and he was like, should we pull over? And I was like, I think I'm going to throw up. And he goes, okay. And then I just projectiled all over my windshield. And I had
from the inside?
From the inside of my car while driving 70 down the highway. And he goes, for a comedian, that's the funniest thing I've ever seen you do. And then I dropped him off at home. No more dates. And then
You never heard
and
from
then
him
I was
again?
supposed to go to the club that night and I was like, I can't. I threw up all over my car. And the bar owner goes, prove it. And so I had to send him a picture of my car covered in vomit to get out of the gig. And now I hold on to that picture because I can use it for other events.
There you go.
One time in New York, though, I threw up in just a yellow cab.
Oh.
But not in it. I painted the side of it.
All right, we don't
I
have
got
to
my
repeat
head all the way out, and I vomited. And then he pulled over immediately, and I don't know what got into me, but I was like, run. I kick the door open and just start sprinting down the street. He's like not even trying to chase me. I did not pay for the cab at all. And I just ran down the street. But I was like wasted. I do not do this. I should have paid him and I do feel guilty about it every day.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll donate to the taxi fund.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe $150.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
They like hit and kill people all the time on accident.
And horses. They love to kill those horses.
They kill horses?
They
Kill horses, don't they?
They strike them.
So I just ran down the block and then met up with my friends and I was like, you'll never believe what happened.
You
and
met
they were
up
like,
with people
they were
after?
Like, did you throw up? I was like, how could you tell? And they're like, we can smell it. It's all over you.
No. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I can't imagine the sight of like what was going through that poor taxi driver's
He probably
mind,
was like, I'm worried.
watching you
I'm
disappear
worried
down
for you.
the side of the street.
In my mind, it was like a foggy night in New York, but I know it was probably just
like Jack the Ripper. Just
I know for him, he probably just watched me like wobble away.
in your mind, you're doing full parkour over.
You were never seen again.
Oh my god.
Oh.
Well, Meatball, we have a little segment where we get some listener mail.
Oh yeah.
And we want
we'd
your
love for
advice.
you to,
I
weigh
give
on
terrible
this.
advice.
As we go off the vomiting and running story.
Okay, so I was at a dance party in San Francisco, and the guy I was
Fun.
making out with was like, let's get out of here. I said, absolutely. He was super hot, and I was like, shoot, your place or mine. And he said, I've got a better idea. So we go to this kind of classic Victorian house, and it's a grand staircase of, like 15 steps up to the front door. It's not like it's not like you go into a building and then you get into an apartment. So it's like a grand entryway, and there's like a party happening in there.
A mysterious party.
Yeah, and so I'm like, oh, cute. This is like an after party.
Giving like, eyes wide shut.
We get to the front of the door, and there's a guy at the door asking for names. He gives his name, and I'm like, here's my name. Why do you need my name? And he says, you're not on the list. And I say, okay, but I'm with him. And he says, yeah, but you're not on the list. So I turn to the guy, and I'm like, okay, well, that sucks. Guess we can't go in here. And he gingerly holds my hands like I'm dying from dysentery. And this is his last goodbye. He says, I'm so sorry. Let me call you an Uber.
What an asshole.
And I was like, what do you mean? I looked inside and realized most people weren't really wearing clothes in there. I think a sex party was happening in the back. And I was like, oh, well, we can still just the two of us have sex, but if we just leave right now. And he goes, yeah, I'm going inside. So I turned to the bouncer and asked, can I go in with him? And the bouncer says absolutely not. So I'm sitting there dumbfounded.
This is horrible.
He pulls out his phone, calls me an Uber.
That's the least he can do.
I got home at like 2:45 after picking up some snacks and eating them in the back of the car. And that's how I got ditched at a sex party.
Yeah, that guy's a huge asshole.
I'm taken aback by I really identify with being like, well, we can still have sex.
Yeah, that would be me.
And then him still going, no, I want to go in here. And then even after that moment, still going to the bouncer going, please? Like, at that point, not ready. Like,
It's so
I'm
many
fighting for my
no's.
life at that point.
It's just so many red flags and so many no's. Like,
so many rejections.
I would have just, like, turned around and left.
Same.
Yeah.
But, like, a similar thing kind of happened to me last time I was in New York. I was, like, making out with this guy at a bar, and we were, like, going hot and heavy, and he was talking about, like, let's meet up later, and, like, we exchanged phone numbers, and then he goes, hold on, let's go to this other bar down the street. And so it was, like, rock bar to some other weird bar. And so we walk all the way to this other bar, and the minute we step foot into the bar, I don't exist. And he goes and he starts talking to these other people. And luckily my friends had like followed us to the other bar. So I like had other people to talk to. But I was like, what just happened? And
why?
they were like,
Tell me.
Yeah, why not just be like, I'm actually not interested in you.
Yeah.
But
And
why
goodbye.
invite me and ask me to leave with
It's
you?
cruel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so like that guy's just being a dick. And I think he knew that he was going to get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
His plan all along was just to go to the sex party.
But lie and say you're going to the bathroom at the previous party and leave without like Irish,
just
Irish
Irish
exit.
exit.
Yeah. You disrespect me 3 times over, and I'm going to still be like, maybe we can try and
Yeah.
figure out. Just, you got to go home. But he went home, and clearly...
He got snacks.
He got snacks, and he did fine.
Yeah, you know what I would have done is been like, no, driver, we're going to spend this money.
Yes.
Where's the drive-through? Swing by a Starbucks. I
Driver.
want to go. Is Target still open? Like, I
Yeah.
would make him wait. I would run that tab up.
Yeah.
Yeah, at least he called him an Uber, but fuck.
That is so fucked up.
I know. Have you ever been, like, brought to a second location by someone, and, like, they've just been like, no?
I'm also sure I might have done this to someone.
Yeah.
I just
Villain.
but not in a romantic way, in like a friendship way.
I took a friend to a sex party.
A friend,
and I didn't fuck them because we're friends.
a friend that like I wasn't super like I've got an acquaintance that I was at a bar with that wanted to keep hanging out with me, that kept coming to the next location and the next location, and we were trying to shake him off. That definitely has happened.
That's hard to get that point across sometimes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so because again, it's not romantic, so you can't be like cut and dry.
Yeah.
I feel like, hey, this
Technically-
isn't gonna happen.
Yeah, technically
Imagine like
they
a friend
can
was
just
like, "Hey,
hang.
this isn't gonna happen.
We're not doing this, babes.
We're not doing friendship."
That's what
It's
you want
over.
to say.
Cut the cord. Go home.
I did have a moment. This was like it was so strange. It was like a new friend. It was like a new friend. You know when you make a new gay friend, you're like, are we
flirting or
are we
queening
flirting?
out?
Are we queening out? So I was like in between there. I would have been happy with either at
Yes.
this point. I was at Akbar, and it was like during Pride. He was over at like the Abbey or whatever, and I'm drunk at this point, and I'm just like trying to go to a new place, and he's like, I'm over here with some friends, come through. And I was like, fuck it, whatever. Get an Uber from Akbar to the Abbey.
Which is
So $75 later.
So $75 later.
$30 or
Granted, I'm
20-30 minutes.
Really drunk, but I know that I'm not like, I know I don't show up like a mess or whatever. I get there, and he and his friends are like starting to leave
No.
like the Abbey, and I'm like, what's going on? And he was like, oh, I'm so sorry, like they wanted to go, but we're going to like this my friend's apartment or whatever. And I was like, oh, okay. I've met this person like enough times that we've like hung out before so it wouldn't be weird for him to like bring me with him since he invited me over there.
Yeah.
He did
Doesn't like, I'm like, I step with this group of friends and stuff after like his high, and he like doesn't introduce me to anybody, and I'm like, what's going on? And one of the friends, I forget the exact words that he said, but essentially he was like, you're not coming with us. And I went,
Excuse me?
and
The friend said that to you?
I'm getting bullied.
Cry.
I'm
I would
getting
literally
bullied.
cry.
And they're also like they're probably like early 20s. So I'm getting bullied by like younger
Children.
people, and I'm like, oh no. And I'm like, I have to,
no,
the part of my brain that needs to be like liked and on. And at that point I should have just been like, fuck this. I was like, I'm gonna try and like win them over. And he
You
like says
doubled
something.
down.
I like
Oh,
doubled
God.
down, and I was
You
like, I
asked
like
the
make a
bouncer.
joke because I was so uncomfortable. I make a joke out of it, and I think he's like being like rude for fun, I guess.
Uh-huh.
Part of my brain is like, this isn't happening. He's being like, he's just trying to like be shady for fun or whatever. And I forget what I like said, like something about like, oh, you're gonna shit on me like with wearing that shirt or whatever the fuck, whatever. And then
When
he
you
goes,
look like that?
he goes, gets so upset, and he's like, walks away, and all of a sudden the group just sort of like moves over there, and then all just starts staring at me tightly. And I was like, oh, and I run away.
Wait, what did that guy that invited you do? Did he defend
Didn't say.
you?
I look at him, and he's like,
He's worthless.
That's never speak to that
Oh,
man
I didn't.
again.
I never
Petty
did
as
it. But it
fuck.
was so, I was like, you invited me across town to get bullied
Yep.
by a bunch of fucking like
Say it.
22-year-olds.
Say twinks.
22-year-old twinks.
I know.
Twinks, faggot.
Some
Say
twink
it.
faggot twink bags.
Say it.
And it was so,
Yeah.
I'm getting red in the face thinking about it.
That feeling,
It was
there's
like
nothing
skin
like
crawling.
it.
That's
But it
a
was
visceral
so crazy
feeling.
to like feel that to be put in that situation as like a grown man.
You were
is
brought
so
back
nuts.
to middle school.
It
You
made
were
me feel
in front of
Oh, yeah.
you were in front of lockers, and no one was inviting you to the
You
birthday
just got
party.
bullied.
And
Yeah.
I went,
That's horrible behavior
wow.
from adults.
Well, and I wasn't even
But
like
why
trying
would
to
he
fuck this
invite
person.
you all the way over there?
I
That's
don't
like the
know.
psycho part. Why do people do that?
I know.
Attention?
He brought you there. At least with like our stories, like person was with us and we were trying to
Already.
get. They were just trying to get rid of
It's
us.
that validation, maybe.
Yeah.
Some people are so sick in the head, they like need it.
Yeah. Or some people are like, I don't really want, or maybe he just didn't want to hang out with me, but still was like, yeah, I'll tell him where I am, but he won't come because it's like far. But I don't know.
What do you
Or just
do?
don't answer my fucking text message.
Yeah, just
Right.
ignore him and be like the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah,
Next day, just be like, hey, sorry, we were super caught up.
exactly.
Mhm.
That's
So strange.
when I
though.
don't want to meet up with someone and I'm out already, I just stop texting.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, oh man, I'm so sorry, I was drunk, whatever. It's an unspoken rule.
Yeah, we're all adults.
Yeah.
Except for those twinks.
I know.
They're babies.
They're babies and they're mean.
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 When was the last time you were bullied?
Oh. It was by a group of twinks. These like little 21-year-olds were at precinct, and I tweeted about it because I was just in shock. Like I hadn't been bullied in a long time.
What happened?
And like you're saying, I regressed
Yep.
to high school.
You're 12.
And I was literally like, they hate me and I'm gonna die. I'm gonna kill myself. No, so I was at precinct and they were ordering just like, you know, like 21-year-olds want the fruitiest, most mixed drink.
Yeah.
They want to see the guy shake it. And each one of them ordered like a different annoying drink.
Ugh.
And I was right behind them for my adult tequila soda,
Sure.
gay water. And it took them forever. And then finally it was time to pay. And they were like, you take Apple Pay? And he was like, yeah. And so she kept doing it and it wasn't going through and it wasn't going through and it wasn't going through. So after already waiting forever for their 3 gay drinks, and then the Apple Pay just wasn't working, she goes, oh, I keep saying she. He goes, oh, I have my wallet in my backpack. And the bartender goes, you had your cards the whole time? And I went, oh my God. And they all turned around and they were like, don't oh my God me, you fat fucking bitch. How dare you, you obese motherfucker. And they like went off on me. And I literally, usually I have like a comeback. Usually I'm like ready to go.
Yeah.
But it was these 3 white twinks just screaming at me and all calling me fat in different ways. And I just was like, and I just turned around and walked away
What the
without
fuck?
saying anything. It was the
Oh,
most
no.
horrifying
That's
experience of my
horrible.
life. And then when I got back to the bar, the bartender was like, what was that? That was insane. I was like, I think the youth are mean.
They are.
They might be mean.
And that's like when I'm in New York and I see a group of kids on bicycles,
You go the
I'm
other
going the other way.
They're gonna bully me.
Because they're going to get on, they're going to pop a wheelie and be like, obese faggot, and then keep going.
Lift up, drive up your back.
Run me over. Come on, Shamu. Like, and I was literally like, I didn't cry, but there was that feeling
I
for a
would
minute
have.
that was like, how could you be so mean? You don't even know me. But they hit every insecurity in that like 5-second exchange.
They're like, in 8th grade, you didn't get the lead of the school play, you fucking faggot.
You fucking faggot, you can't even act, bitch. That's why you're drinking, you stupid bitch. I wasn't in drag either, so I was also like,
You felt
how did they
vulnerable.
know? How did
Yeah.
they know?
Oh,
You didn't get the role on the play, you dumb bitch.
You thought you were gonna be the big bad wolf and Into the Woods, but you weren't, bitch. You were sleepy.
You weren't even a good Mr. Dussel.
I know it's just a product of age in general, just a baseline, but I don't know. I think like I don't know if me and my friends would have done that at 21, or I'm sure there were people that I remember at 21, I felt like I needed to be so respectful of the older people at the bar and I needed to act so cool because I didn't want to seem like the glaring 21-year-old.
Mhm.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I always wanted to be like the
Incognito.
older one. Yeah, I wanted to fit in, like slide in.
Like their
with
whole
the older
thing,
people that now are like, I realize we're like 35.
Yeah, but,
I
like,
was
the- like,
that old dude's cool.
our age people, like I wouldn't have like them ordering crazy drinks, paying with Apple Pay. That would have been mortifying for me
And
as
Apple
a
Pay that
21-year-old.
kept getting declined.
Yes.
And she kept on holding it to her face.
Like,
I
I would fully be, like, so mortified by that. So the fact that they had the gall to then turn around and be mad at you.
What an exhausting way to live. It's
You
exhausting.
know, they run
These
on
youths.
hate. Aren't you tired?
Ain't you tired, twins?
Running on sugary drinks and hate.
And
Blood
hate.
sugar's crashing.
So much hate.
Have a snack. I'm worried about you. Get some French fries in you.
The
So
chicken
much
tenders
hate.
are good there. They should probably get them. Anyway, Meatball.
Anyways,
This has flown by.
how can we find you on social media?
My Instagram is @spiciestmeatball, and my Twitter is fatdragmeatball.
Great.
And then listen to my podcast, Sloppy
Yes.
Seconds, and come to my party if you're in LA. It's every third Friday at Precinct.
Okay.
It's called Fat Slut.
And you can't come if you're mean.
No, well,
actually, no.
I want that money at the door. Come if you're mean. Just
Come.
don't talk to me. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.